Hey, what's up? Oh no, I know what you're thinking. Oh, why did you buy Rue Morgue? I thought you were doing a hit and run. Well, it is the Halloween issue, and this actually had uh, some stuff in it that I liked. The main focus here was on the retro VHS horror. And I said, you know what? There's enough interesting things in here. Let me grab it. And there was some good stuff in here. So, am I changing my tune? No, there's still some other things in here, but it is the Halloween issue. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Rue Morgue Halloween issues, more of the past than now. But like I said, it was an interesting VHS big thing I had mentioned. I still have a working VCR. I still have some VHS cassettes. I probably want to get another VHS working machine and blank tapes for other projects. There's just something about it. And the thing was, of course, though, that in retro, the from today with all the digital stuff, the pros and cons of it, VHS is now looked on as fondly. Okay, it's nostalgia. I had mentioned what nostalgia is. Andy Nowicki had mentioned nostalgia as kind of melancholy. The truth is, though, that VCR and VHS tapes, man, that's what we had. They worked great, and you made a lot of copies of things. It was a lot easier to tape off television or tape from one VCR to the other, and you get that little little analog kind of degrading quality from that. But that was part of the charm. You didn't know any better, to be frank. You know. So coming inside here, uh, we start here. Once again, Andrea seems to be toning down the wokeness a little bit, at least in the intros. I'm talking about this is the 25th anniversary of Rue Morgue starting up. Right? The VHS format might be crude and analog. That's only proven its appeal. Part of its appeal among 80s monster kids. I guess I'm a monster kid now as a Gen Xer. I told you I'm too young to be a monster kid, but maybe we are the new monster kids. Because okay? The old ones are checking out, in case you haven't noticed. We go here. Let's see. Yeah, so she seems to be toning down a little bit. But although we have this here, we acknowledge the land that Rue Morgue is traded upon. It's the traditional churchery of many nations, including the Mississaugas. Here we go. It is now home to many diverse First Nations from people nowhere near there, like the Inuits. It's this doesn't achieve anything. The people don't care. The people that were the real deal died a long time ago fighting against it. Anyway, like I said, we're the Indians now. So I'm gonna go through, see what we can do here. I might make two vids because, like I said, this was really a good one. Now, what is it? Horror Hound covers a lot more of this kind of stuff here, but at this point, since Rue Morgue is going into the current year more and more, so it always gets more current year every year, right? But to them, this is like a blast to the past. Now you look at all these boxes, man. Driller Killer, Chopping Mall, man, what a great movie that was. Faces of Death, which yours truly heard about from everybody older than him. I never saw any of the Faces of Death. Can you believe that? Yeah, and I don't know, the writer did a pretty good job. The whole idea of going to the video store, okay. And he mentions here, right? VHS hit the scene in the 70s, right? The family room, right? They talked about before that all you have are 8mm films, which are abbreviated versions of the films, right? Because the actual reel would be too long, right? To mail to you. And how VCRs came on, right? When the price of the VCR dropped to $500, right? In about, what is it, 1983? Yeah, 1984 is when my My mother and my stepdad finally got a VCR. Our neighbor had one earlier. The thing, now it could have been because I was smaller, but man, that thing was heavy. We saw a lot of bootleg movies taped off of WHT. I mentioned WHT, right? And then going to the video store. I remember how expensive the tapes were. If you wanted to actually buy the tapes and not rent them, they were like $78 for a damn cassette. Can you imagine? Right, and Betamax. I remember a guy had a Betamax. I remember too. They had a something that looked like a pencil sharpener. I know you younger guys are laughing. It looked like a pencil sharpener. That's how you rewound the films. I think the old Betamax and maybe even the early VCRs didn't even rewind the tape. You had to do it by hand. But let's see, right? And you had, okay, of course, the Faces of Death banned in 46 countries, which was not true. In the video Nasties, always bringing that up. Right. Right. The UK's list of obscene horror videos became a checklist of must-see titles. It's like the PMRC when they made the labels, the parentary advisory. Just made everybody want to buy the things. And right, brand new VHS offered the most reliable experience. Well, listen, I don't know. The VHS worked pretty damn good. You know, it wasn't. They make it sound like, oh, it was all glitchy and everything. That came later. That came when you were using blank tapes to tape stuff. When you had old tapes that you left in like a friggin' attic or something. Eventually, yeah, it would degrade over time. But most of the VHS, we didn't know any better. It worked pretty good. Right. Right, and I will argue that as BTD has done in terms of VHS, the actual video camera format, it's just, well, it's more of that later. We're just talking about the VHS as a format of watching films. Right? There was nothing like it, right? Nothing like it, and eventually, yes, the magnetic tape, the images will fade away. But they seem to have lasted. I have tape. I have one or two tapes from the '80s, and they're still running. They're still playing. Okay, little rainbows aside, little interlacing aside. Um, yeah, there's gonna be two tapes. Now this is VHS. These are like these little anthology films. I don't know if I like these. They talk about the VHS aesthetic. Now the one I saw didn't look like it was shot on VHS. It didn't even look anything like that. So I wasn't really a big fan of VHS. The first one. I haven't seen the other ones. Maybe they've made it more glitchy and more VHS camera like, but I doubt it. So I guess maybe I shouldn't be covering this. So and what is this? I like this here. I like this. The VHS viral means a sore spot for the thing. The hate on viral irritates the hell out of me. All right. But the venom for viral irritates me because I don't get it. Hey, you know how it is when you put something out there, you know. People don't have to like it. Just saying. Yeah, especially the internet culture, you know, which helps people now more than anything else. That's part of the game. So I remember all the old horror films or music. All people did was talk shit. Just say it. So now the fourth film of the franchise. Okay, we're gonna get a little Morgue-ish here. The standout, however, is this person's nightmare, a timely tale. Timely of a right-wing militia. That plans to weaponize a vampire's blood. Timely tale. Right-wing militia. So you mean federal informers? Now this is the. I thought someone actually had. I know the guy in BitChute I showed, Terran Theatrics. He actually has a video store in Corpus Christi, Texas. I thought that's what this was gonna be, but this is just some kind of art installation. Okay, it's not a real thing. Yeah, well, I don't know. What's the point of this? Just say it, you know. And I'm not against stuff like that. I'm not against art installations or retro kind of exhibits, but it just is like, you know. Yeah. Now this is the one here. This was fascinating. I want to check this out. I never heard of this. This is shot on VHS. Okay, there's a lot of what is it? SOV horror YouTube channel. They actually cover new films and old films shot on these old analog formats where you just have that kind of just like what BTD. I keep bringing up what he said. It was brilliant what he said. Like how the video look, how cheesy it seemed, how low rent it seems, and now how atmospheric it seems with this. Technically, this is a more realistic looking than film, but it has an atmosphere all its own. And this was interesting too. This was a good article. The person being interviewed didn't feel any need to make a brave stand, because they're always so brave with all the stands they take on issues of the day. And there was none of that in there. And I kind of liked that. Apparently, this is a VHS interactive game. That's interesting. And what is this? Oh God in heaven. Bruce Campbell. Okay, I like the Evil Dead, but I haven't heard good things about him in person. So I could be wrong. Maybe it's gossip. But he's writing a war comic. Sergeant Rock, the Army of the Dead. Oh, there you go. How do you kill an army of zombie Nazis? Right? They're not Wehrmacht soldiers or anything who are just fighting for their country, which is outnumbered and being annihilated because it didn't want to be. Anyway. I don't think I'm gonna really dig this. Okay, and I actually like the Sergeant Rock character. Robert Kanigher, I keep bringing him up, wrote the definitive ending of how Rock's fate, which I thought was great. But whatever, this is just DC horror. Come on, get out of here. This is something about music videos. As an intersection of music and horror. This was actually not really good gassiest music videos. I didn't even know most of these videos. I'm trying to think of any of them I've seen. There's a Korn video, Dave Bowie video. Nah, not really. Not really. Last in Line by Dio. Apparently, Don Coscarelli from Phantasm did that. I didn't even know that. That was cool. But most of these other ones, of course, Thriller. Hey. Thriller scared me when I was a kid, when I saw it on Friday Night Videos. You my New York people remember that. Remember, we didn't get cable in my part of Brooklyn until the 90s.